You know, there comes a time in everybody's life when they have to just accept the fact that there is another version of them out there somewhere, and that version probably has red eyes and is evil or something. It's the multiverse, baby! Welcome to Digital Charcuterie as we get underway on another of our patented Marvel United deep dives. I'm Andrew Fantasia. Thank you so much for joining in. Please like, please subscribe, please ring the bell or click the bell. We ring the bell. You don't have to do any ringing. You just click it. It's much easier. And if you're a fantasy fan, or maybe you know somebody who is, check out this. This is called We Were Wizards. It's a fantasy book series that I wrote. There's two of them right now. There's the spines. I like the spines very much. The purple one comes first, followed by the gray one. You can find We Were Wizards on Amazon all over the world. If you are into the kind of stuff that you see in perhaps Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, all that kind of just swashbuckling fantasy adventure, you are going to have the time of your life with We Were Wizards. And you can get it in paperback, hardcover, or ebook. So check that out now on Amazon. Now let's talk about Multiverse. I like to think that somewhere out there in the multiverse there's an alternate Andrew. Maybe he has no beard, plenty of hair, and he lives in a world full of affordable housing. That's about as different as I can make it from this place. So the multiverse in Marvel is thankfully much more colorful and exaggerated and gives us a lot of unique opportunities, as does the one in DC, which I hope we might see one day. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the Multiverse core box, the Season 3 core box, which thankfully people in the Western United States are finally getting their hands on. My goodness, almost 2 full years of waiting. I really hope future campaigns don't take that long, because that must have been, wow, that's harsh. Thankfully, they're getting their hands on it, so we just happened to stumble upon Multiverse in our deep dive tower in a very opportune moment in time. So without further ado, let's hit the table and see what Multiverse has under the hood. All right, wow, the Multiverse core box. I think I need to start off by probably stating for the record, let it be known, this is my favorite art for any of the core boxes, including the DC ones. Just something about it. Just all the colors are popping for me in all the right ways. Even though these are probably a collection of characters that I knew the least about, I was still just floored in the best possible way when I saw this. It was one thing when they announced the characters and you had the little individual art, but then seeing this in its finality, ooh, baby. Yeah, flavor country. So, the Multiverse core box, as we flip it over and see, looks like just any other core box at the back with a lot of good stuff there queued up for you. Let's read the back here. The fabric of reality is bursting, oh no, at the seams as new threats emerge from all corners of the multiverse. Variants of the most dangerous supervillains reach out through space and time to seize power. But where powerful villains rise, so too do mighty heroes. That's nice. They'll travel across dimensions in a desperate struggle to protect the innocent, face dire threats, and confront these villains once and for all. The fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance, with victory only possible if the heroes stand united. Let's open the box now and get you acquainted with what you will find if you order this for yourself. So we have a rule book here. Nice, straightforward, typical core box rule book, which we will probably refer to later just to catch you up on a few things that I have taken out of here. And all the usual stuff. Because of Spider-Geddon, I believe this is our first rule book that does not add any new giant changes to the system, because equipment cards were already covered in Spider-Geddon, as was Commander Solo mode, and Supervillain mode was covered in X-Men. So yeah, everything in here is all good stuff that we have seen before. Unless this is your first core box, in which case, hey, that is 16 pages of brand new material. So that's fun. Okay, let's open this part now. Woo, I'm excited. Okay. All right, location time. You have 8 in here because it's a core box. Of course you do. Unless we're talking DC. DC throws all those rules out the window and goes down a different path for the core boxes, but that's a story for another day. Here we are with, what do we got? The TVA headquarters. I was very happy to see give the TVA some love. Here's hoping some Mobius action comes our way soon, and some Ravenna Renslayer, maybe. All right, Muspelheim, which is a big, scary place that I would not want to visit. Kunlun, on the other hand, yeah, I'll go to Kunlun any day. And I was shocked that we didn't already have Kunlun. I thought we did, but no, we already have Mr. Danny Rand, but not the place where he learned how to punch things really hard. Project Pegasus. That's Captain Marvel's favorite place to hang out. Alchemax headquarters. I don't remember what story that's from. Niflheim, which is a very funny word because it sounds like Nippleheim. And London, with a bridge that is thankfully not falling down. And the United Nations headquarters, which is an awesome location as well. All right, so 8 giant, colorful locations. I really like these, and they offer a nice spread of places too, like lots of supernatural, lots of real world, good balance. Maybe the best balance of any core box locations, maybe. I guess that depends on taste. Underneath that, you will find your your mission dashboard holder to keep everything tidy and organized. I don't use those ones very much, but that is okay. It's there for people who want it / need it. And then our 4 very colorful villain dashboards, which make me super happy. Cosmic Ghost Rider with his giant punishment track. Maestro, who is terrifyingly difficult. Look at that, 3 damage. Come on, like, scary. Emperor Doom, with a lot going on there too. Very complex. And Immortus, who I have not faced yet. I know he's one of those different ones. See, he doesn't have health. You can't harm Immortus. Here's can I damage Immortus. But I don't know much else about how he works. So once I draw his name, I'll be able to fight him and find out. But those are 4 lovely dashboards to add to the growing collection, which I hope just keeps on growing. And he has a special setup. Emperor Doom does not, though he does use Doombots. Maestro has a special setup, and Cosmic Ghost Rider is the simple villain in the box that the developers recommend you begin with. He's the easiest one to pick up and play, which is weird because he seems like the most complex one. Another character that I'd never had heard about until Marvel United came along. I had no idea who Cosmic Ghost Rider was, and I didn't know that there was a Emperor Doom who wore white and took over the universe. So I love learning about these things through this game. All right, underneath here we have your standard mission cards that you're going to need for every game, mostly every game. So thank you for those. And then all of your standard Civilian Thug and Crisis tokens, very important. Can't play the game without them. And all of the goodies underneath. Health for the villains and action tokens and all that fun stuff. All of that's here. It all comes in here. This is where I keep it. Makes sense to me. Okay, let's take a gander at the villain cards. Oh, and underneath the villain cards, you will find more specific tokens. So you have your threat tokens, and there's always going to be 6 in a core box. And you have a whole bunch of Doombot tokens for when you're facing off against Emperor Doom. So some more Doombots to add to your collection if you already have Fantastic Four. What's this? Oh, this is Rick Jones. Not Rick James. Rick Jones, the Hulk's friend. And he is part of the Maestro battle. That's cool. I believe if you go to Minis from Mars, he has made a miniature version of Rick Jones, I think, that you can add to the game instead. And then some of those other things like play randomly, invulnerable, accelerated villain turn, delayed villain turn, those little tokens that you also get in every core box. All right, let's look at the villain cards. Here is Maestro with his Dogs of War, the Dogs of Doom. It's probably something else. I don't know, some other canine villain. But he's got a lot of Dogs of War, which doesn't sound fun. And Maestro's Master Plan deck. Typical Master Plan deck, nothing too special. This is my first real look at Immortus's threat cards. So he's got a lot of henchmen, which is very fun. Star Fox, okay. We have Star Fox. Now you know what that means. Season 4, guys, come on, give us the Eternals. You know you want to. That's a whole slew of new characters. Come on. I hope that happens. And there's all his threats. And I don't want to linger too long on these. You can pause if you want, but I want to be surprised by Immortus, so I'm not going to look too hard at what his cards can do. Here is Emperor Doom with the Purple Man, who you can beat the game if you defeat him. He's sort of a secondary win condition. Oh yeah, Namor works for him too. Man, Namor works for anybody. Namor, you gotta get your loyalties in a row, my friend. And there is Cosmic Ghost Rider's deck with all of his stuff. Beautiful looking art on that character, by the way. All right. Those are all the villain cards that you will find within. And then the hero cards are here. Oh, and there's also a tracker cube, and this one is black. It's like a smoky, translucent black. If we hold it up to the light, it's actually almost clear. But it does have a sort of smoky haze to it. So I wouldn't call it a clear cube. I would call it a black cube. So now we have blue. We have light blue. We have black. We have white. We have chrome, the X-Men one. That was my favorite. There's a purple one in the Inhumans box. Nice. There's a red and blue one in the Civil War box. And in the Apocalypse box, which I don't have, the Horseman one, there's a red one. So I think all we're missing now is orange and yellow. If they do season 4 the way that I predicted, where it was called Midnight and it was all themed around the supernatural, orange is a perfect color for the supernatural. It's Halloween, baby. It's gift wrapped for you. I don't know what else they want. All right. Underneath here are your little cards. So these little ones here are, where are they? Whoa, I'm all over the place. These little ones are your battle plan cards. That's what they're called. And you've got a bunch of those. Those are for use in the Commander Solo mode. So that is part of that mode. And those go just down here. And then also, you get a ton of equipment cards. And as I mentioned before, equipment cards, I'm just counting as 1 point, no matter how many are in a box. As long as a box has at least one, you're adding a point for that. And you get a ton of them in here. So you've got Mjolnir for Mighty Thor, Captain Carter's Shield, Hellfire Chain for Cosmic Ghost Rider and his Hell Cycle with Baby Thanos, the Spear of Bashenga and the Hard Light Shield for Black Panther, the Scepter for Loki. That's cool. And then you have generic ones, body armor, communication device. These are generic. Any hero can use it. Airlift, and a makeshift weapon made out of a parking meter. That's cool. And then Magneto's helmet, which goes for Magneto. And I'm not sure why it's in here. I should put that somewhere else. I think I may have mistakenly forgot to put it somewhere else. But those all go here. And if you want to get creative, I'm sure you could give Mjolnir to, like, I don't know, Moon Knight. It's your game. So, you know, just because it says Mighty Thor, play around, get creative, see what happens. That's something that I look forward to trying with equipment as well. That's far down the line, though. First, I want to try it as it was meant to be tried to see how much I like it. And finally, the hero cards in here, which include Loki. I don't think I've used him as a hero yet. I could be wrong, but his cards are great. They really nailed his expression where he's just smirking like a jerk. Smirking like a jerkin. Captain Carter, my good friend Peggy Carter. Inspiring leadership. I think it works. Yeah, that's her catchphrase. It's a strange catchphrase, but it suits her. Spider-Man 2099, the original in the blue and red, as it should be. That white stuff, man, I don't know what that was. But even this, though, with the web cape there, is not what I remember. I remember him just having the suit, no webby capey thing going on. But I do like that cape. But this guy is from the trading card days as well. He's a big deal, at least for me. And the 2099 world in general is supposed to be kind of big and important, though this is the only character from it that I think they've used. I could be wrong. I wonder if we will ever see more of those. Ironheart, who I was really looking forward to seeing, and when they announced her this season, I was really glad. I love her look. I think her Disney Plus show is finally coming out this year. Took them long enough. And then after her is the Mighty Thor. who is Natalie Portman sometimes, and this blonde lady other times. And Black Panther Shuri, who has a great look to her with the fur around her neck, and her cards look awesome too. And finally, Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's just some of the coolest looking art in Marvel United on his cards. Like, look at this, man. They had a great time with this. Sometimes he's got a bubble around his head, but the miniature does not do that. And that's okay. All right. So those are all the heroes and villains. But let's talk miniatures now, because I think for most of you, that's the deciding factor, isn't it? So as I just toss everything back where it came from, we will take a look at the miniatures in the order from my least favorite miniature to my most. And we will, I think, be giving the least favorite to Loki. And as per usual, him being my least favorite has nothing to do with him being bad or anything. It just has to do with something's got to be last. And in a box full of greats, you know, you got to pick something. So it ended up being him. He looks awesome, though, with those two knives, and he's stepping down those, it's hard to see here in this light, sorry, but those Asgardian throne room steps. He's descending as if to challenge someone. It's very, very cool. I like that a lot. Following up Loki is going to be Mighty Thor. I love her base with all these Nordic runes on it. That was a big deal when they showed that off on Twitter, what seems like a million years ago now. And she's got Mjolnir held high and proudly. She's posing in the wind. That's just a very heroic look for a hero. And she's got good cape game, too, so she can give the DC characters a run for their money. Great cape game, Mighty Thor. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Let's put her back there. And who is next? I believe Ironheart is next. And she's just floating on this starburst thing. Looks great. Very playful. Looks like you can kind of swoop her around like this. And she's like, whoa, I'm flying. But yeah, just awesome looking mold. Super neat. After Ironheart, I am going to go with Maestro. Just because it's a classic look, and they really nailed the look of Maestro. Every time I see him in a photo or a toy or something, he's always doing that. He's always going, rah! And he's usually stepping on discarded pieces of heroes. Like there's Mjolnir on the ground. And I think Iron Man's helmet. Yeah, I think that's Iron Man's helmet. So he really messes with all the heroes in the future. After him, I will go with, oh boy, it's so hard to choose. It is so hard to choose. I'm going to go with Immortus. I like that he's stepping on these rocks in sort of this swirling vortex of time. Really, every miniature in here is so awesome. At this point, I'm just, you know, I'm trying to rank them by my favorite, but it's so hard. It's really one of the best boxes of minis. And he's got this gorgeous cape and this hat, which is so Silver Age Marvel / Golden Age Marvel. And I'm glad they kept it. And I'm glad they kept it in the movie, too, even though we're unfortunately never going to see it again. But it's okay. There he is, stepping on rocks. Love it. After him, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Spider-Man 2099, who is balancing on these futuristic-looking thingamabobbers. I don't know what they are, but he lives in the future, so they're probably future-y. And he's got his cape flowing there, and he's got spikes on him. Very classic-looking Spider-Man 2099 pose. You know, once you have the character crouching down like that, you're halfway there as far as Spider-Man poses are concerned. Delightful. After that, I will go for Captain Carter, who has this awesome shield there. I just love whenever United does shields. I find that so much fun. And she is running into action to save the day, whether she's saving England or just the world. Love it. And it looks like Haley Atwell, too. After her, we will go for Cosmic Ghost Rider, who's got skulls on his base and chains on him, and he's purple, and he's got these giant guns. And these guns, they make me smile because they remind me of... I used to have these very 90s action figures from this very 90s show called Earthworm Jim. If anybody out there remembers Earthworm Jim, you might know what I'm talking about. But there were action figures, and they had guns, plastic, green. I think they were green plastic guns that the characters would use, green and yellow or something, and they looked almost identical to these very spacey looking, cartoonish, pew pew looking guns. And he looks like he could be a character from that show. That's why I love this so much, is because it reminds me, it feels like I'm holding a miniature Earthworm Jim action figure with the spikes on his shoulders too. So this is just this hyper detail. They really pulled out all the stops with Cosmic Ghost Rider. I like him a lot, even though I knew nothing about the character. After him, we will go with Shuri, the Black Panther, because she's standing on this tribal mask. She's, it's like she's almost creeping. She's in stealth mode, which is a very hard thing to show a miniature doing. You want an action pose, that's easy, but stealth mode, not necessarily. But she's got that happening here. It looks like she's sneaking up on an enemy. And again, her cape game, magnificent. So this box is really just home run after home run. And finally, the homest run of home runs, that's how you say it, right, is Emperor Doom with his giant throne of thorny vines. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe he and Poison Ivy have a thing going. I love how he's so small that his little feet are just dangling over the edge. I'm the emperor of the world. Everybody bow to me. And meanwhile, his feet are just kicking. And he's got that just great Emperor Palpatine look to him. And I think I mentioned when I did my unboxing of this before that if they ever do Star Wars United, which, as excited as that would make me, I don't think I could afford to go all in on something like that now. But if they ever did Emperor Palpatine, I would hope he'd be a red figure sitting on a throne, just like this, because that is very Palpatine. And apparently that's very Doom. Okay, so there's the box. You are also getting some things that are not in here because I have taken them out. But I want to make sure you know, if you're getting this, you will also receive Stun Token, which I didn't show you, the Superhero and Supervillain cards. I take those out just to save space because I almost never use them, as well as the Challenge cards, which come in every core box. So those will be in here, rather they should be in here when you purchase a copy. So you're getting challenges and you're getting superhero mode, because I know that mode, or rather supervillain mode, sorry, that mode makes a lot of people happy because they like to play against their friends as well as cooperatively with them. So don't fear, you will find that in here. All right, now it's time to put this away and to add the things that I keep in here as well. And there was only a tiny bit of room, so I didn't add much to this, but I did add one small thing. Well, two small things. The Valley of the Sleeping Dragon, which comes in the Fing Fang Foom box. I just keep that in here because that box is a little finicky and I don't want to risk closing it and bending this. I just felt more secure keeping these in here, as well as Fin Fang Foom's Villain Dashboard. I keep that in here as well because it just sticks up in the box, and when I close it, I just have a fear of like putting something in the wrong way and then this thing gets bent or creased, and I really don't want that. So just to save myself the trouble, that goes right there, and it fits totally fine, as you were about to see. There you have it. Let's see, is it going to make a liar out of me? Is it going to not fit? No, see, it fits fine. But that's it, everybody. That is the Multiverse core box. Now it's time to take a look at what, ooh, funny noise, at what you're going to get in here when you tally up all those delicious points. Inside this box, you will find 10 delightful miniatures. 6 of those miniatures are blue hero figures. That gives us 6 points. 3 of those miniatures are red villain figures, which gives us also 6 points. And then 1 figure is a purple anti-hero, which gives us another 3 points. Lovely. There are 8 locations in this box because there should be at this point. That is worth 4 points. You have your core box essentials, all the mission cards, the mission guide, rulebook, generic challenges, all that fun stuff. Tokens, a villain tracker. That is worth 1 point for all those core box essentials. Then, just like in Spider-Geddon, you are getting Commander Solo Mode, which is a lovely new mode that I still have not tried. I just realized that. And you're getting Supervillain Mode as well. Then, to top it all off, there are equipment cards. So you're getting a whole bunch of equipment cards, including classic equipment cards for previous boxes, which I don't think is Kickstarter exclusive. So wherever you buy this box, you're getting all of those equipment cards. But of course, we only count equipment as 1 point. And that should all tally out to 35 points of worthiness. There we go. Multiverse is a nice, solid core box. And you're getting a lot of bang for your buck out of it because, of course, you are. It's a core box. That's how they are built. And I would highly recommend it. It's just so much fun so far. And I haven't even touched everything in it yet. That's what's exciting about this game. That'll do it for today's deep dive. Tune in next time as we keep making our way into the Multiverse season, which has a lot of exciting boxes that are built very differently than the boxes from seasons 1 and 2. So I'm really curious to see what kind of points we're going to be able to get out of that. Until then, my friends, thank you all for joining me here on Digital Charcuterie as we continue to make the wait for DC Superheroes United a little bit shorter and a whole lot sweeter. See you next time.